from the Department of Communication in Phillipsburg. This is a special edition of Inside Government with Charity Dunker.
Hello everyone, I'm Charity Dunker and welcome to this edition of Inside Government Interview. On this edition of Inside Government, my guests are none other than Ms. Chantal Groenevel, Department Head of Community Development, Family and Humanitarian Affairs. And also she's been joined by none other than Ms. Stacy Ann, violinist, team leader of Guided Living Hope Estate. How are you both doing, ladies, over at White and Yellow Cross? I forgot to mention, very important. How are you doing?
We're doing
Wonderful.
well. I'm doing well.
Good. Welcome. Our discussion that I'm going to be having on this segment of Inside Government Interview, the focus, the upcoming Disability Awareness and Family Fun Day event slated for July 15, 2023. This is going to be held over at Emilio Wilson Park from 9 a.m. to 12 midday. Ladies, before getting into our discussion as to what's going to be taking place for the upcoming event on July 15, 2023 over at Emilio Wilson Park, Chantal, please share with us, over at CDFHA, it's been quite busy of recent. A lot of programs also highlighting and bringing about awareness within the community and the home circle on a whole. Recently completed projects. I know one of them that we all saw on social media was the Father's Day project. How you felt about how that was all tied in and pulled together?
Well, when the lead person came with the idea to me, I felt so great about it because we don't oftentimes highlight the importance of fathers. And looking at the interviews, it really made me become extremely emotional because these was stories that people shared from their personal experience of their fathers. So moving forward, programs such as these are what we will continue providing to the public.
Okay. What's still to come? What's on the agenda?
Well, we have the upcoming community event for families with disabilities. And I'm so looking forward to this because it is the first time that we are actually collaborating with White and Yellow Cross, specifically the Guided Living, section of Guided Living. So I'm really and truly looking forward to this great initiative where we want to bring awareness and highlight the importance of persons with disabilities, that they are too part of our community. They also have human rights. They also are able. They may have a physical disability, a learning disability, whatever it may be, but they are still humans and they still play a role in the community. So having a more inclusive approach and including them in things that we do daily, we will continue highlighting the importance of that at the department and doing whatever we can to make that possible.
Mm-hmm. The various target groups that the Department of CDFHA focuses on, can you name a few of them?
Yes, we have the elderly, the unemployed, the homeless, the substance abuser, of course, the disabled, the single parents. So those are just a few. And this time around, because we have not yet done things for persons with disabilities, we found that it was important to finally step forward, step to the plate and do something for them.
I'm also guessing you see this as important because everyone makes up different various groups within our society in order to come about and live together in a community. How important is that? You see it fit that everyone understands that all these working parts makes up a community.
It's part of our social fabric. Persons with disabilities has rights just like every other person. The department and government in general is busy with so many different aspects to bring awareness, to provide possibilities for these persons with disabilities because indeed, like you rightfully mentioned, they are part of the community, of our society.
Yeah. Okay.
Them having a disability is already a challenge as it is, and for us that are quote unquote that doesn't have a disability, we are to understand better. We are to look into ways to assist them, look into ways to provide education to our community regarding persons with disability, and really make them feel, include them.
Good. White and Yellow Cross. You chose White and Yellow Cross because?
We chose White and Yellow Cross because last year we had a family fun day in Hope Estate, and we invited the residents of the guided living, and they were so happy. They were so excited to be part of, and from then I was saying to myself, hey, this is something that we need to build on. So when Ms. Violinas reached out to the department and to have a discussion, it was without a doubt that we were going to collaborate with them, because having said previously, we did not do anything with this particular target group.
Now, Stacey Ann Violinas, being the team leader for Guided Living at Hope Estate over at White and Yellow Cross. Recently, you just returned from accompanying the athletes who competed in the Special Olympics. What was the experience like for both athletes, coaches, and also your person? And also, once again, congratulations to the athletes.
It was tremendous. For me, again, it was my first time attending, and my position with them was the medic. However, we had 2 athletes from Hope Estate Guided Living that took part in swimming, and it was amazing to see persons, 192 different countries that represented their country, and St. Martin being a part of that. The athletes they loved people, they enjoyed seeing the different athletes like themselves, they enjoyed being around people, and for them, competing is something that they love doing. And regardless that they are special, it was something that they enjoy, we enjoyed. So being a part of the medic that traveled with them, it was something spectacular, and I enjoyed it. I think I enjoyed it more than the athletes themselves.
Good. The upcoming event, Stacey. Collaboration, who came up with the idea, both yourself and also Chantal, upcoming Disability Awareness and Family Fun Day? Who came up with the whole concept?
Well, when I took on the position of being the unit leader at Guided Living, I asked my manager, is there anything that like this was done before? And they said to me, no. And I thought, it's a pity, because our task is to have our clients included in our community and not to feel excluded. So I wanted to do something that was never done before, and for them to always feel as if they are a part of our community and not to feel ashamed. So I decided, after I heard, because I was not present when they had the family fun day, I heard about it and they sent me pictures. And I said, okay, we do have something in place, so why not go and see what it entails and see how best we can do a collaboration, because our clients are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. And they're living in a community that has different personalities, and I want them to be a part of it and not to be afraid or feel as though they are not a part of it, but to be always included, whether it's going to the shop, greeting people, whatever. I wanted them. So I approached the department, and it was welcoming. The first time that I walked in, it was very welcoming, and I realized while I was speaking, the lady, she started writing, which was very, very important for me. She started writing it. I was never shunned. And she was also excited as I was. And she said, I cannot give you the okay, but I am pretty sure my department head will love to do something with you. Good. And throughout the end of the following day, I received an email. And I was so excited. I went to my department manager and I said, we are doing this. And she said, but Stacey, I said, no, this is our initiative. I am taking this on. I am running with it.
Yeah.
Just in case they change their mind.
Sounds so passionate.
Yes. And I must tell you that everything is going accordingly. I keep sending emails.
Good.
And even though I was not here, I kept in contact, and they also kept in contact with me. So to show you that government really, really want to work with persons that are differently abled in our community. And for me, I want for them to do more, but this is the first step, and I really do appreciate it.
I just picked up on something. You did not say disabled, you said differently able.
Yes, because we are changing our language. We are changing the way that we speak about persons that are different, because all of us have some type of disability. I am wearing spectacles. Chantal is also wearing spectacles.
Correct.
But we are different in our own way, and not because a person might have a hand that is lost, a foot that is lost, but they are a part of us, and everyone is dealing with something, whether it's intellectual, whether it's physical, whatever it is. But we should treat people as how we would want to be treated and include them.
Correct. No one is perfect.
No one is perfect.
All right. And we're all special in our ways.
That's right.
All right. Before we have a break coming up, but we have enough time. I have to squeeze this one in as well. Chantal, you like to share as to what Stacey just mentioned, the excitement and the enthusiasm, and then hearing that government is also on board. What was it like receiving that information?
Well, I was excited. I was excited because we did not do anything for that specific target group. And it's a target group that requires a lot of attention. And like Stacey rightfully mentioned, this is a step. However, government has done and continues to do many things, but of course we can do plenty more, especially as it pertains to the legislations and policy development. So in those areas, because thus far, government has employed persons with disabilities. There are different policy documents that is busy being worked on, such as the social policy, we have also the social work placement, and we have the social registry. So those are just a few, just to mention what the Ministry of VSA is presently working on. Our community help desk at Hope Estate is specifically for elderly and those that are differently able.
Right.
So we continue to make strides, and with this collaboration, it gives us an opportunity to provide awareness to the community. It also provides the families with persons that are differently able to come out together as families to do something great, and also for persons of the community to come out and learn more and meet persons that are differently able. So again, I'm extremely excited. I see where, for example, our department could play a major role when it comes to the Special Olympics, making it possible to contribute a budget, which of course I would definitely make available moving forward. So these are different ways that I see that as government, as the ministry, as the department of CDFHA can continue assisting, continue providing support to foundations such as the White and Yellow Cross.
Okay. You just heard both voices of Ms. Chantal Groenewald, that's the department head over at CDFHA, and also Ms. Stacey Ann Violinus, and she is once again the team leader for Guided Home Living over at Hope Estate at White and Yellow Cross. Do stay tuned. I'll be back right after this.
Children experience hurricanes differently than adults. There may be possible physical, mental, educational, and emotional effects. Before a storm or hurricane, here are some methods to cope. Prepare your child to deal with the many issues. Explain to them what a hurricane is and its effects, and do so using simple age-appropriate words. In addition, as you prepare to hurricane-proof your home, let your child or children contribute in helping out. During a storm or hurricane, keep them safe, keep them busy, keep them calm. Play games, read. A tropical storm or hurricane presents a great deal of stress and some shock, but being prepared will ease your children's mind, especially after a storm or hurricane. To learn more on how you can keep yourself and your family safe this hurricane season, visit the official government website at stmartingov.org/hurricane. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Department of Communication.
Welcome back, and thank you for joining us on this edition of Inside Government Interview, being joined by the Department Head of CDFHA, Ms. Chantal Groeneveld, and also Ms. Stacey Ann Violinus, who's the team leader over at the Guided Hope Living over at Hope Estate, right? Yes, Hope Estate, and also representative of White and Yellow Cross. They're here to discuss the upcoming event, which is slated for July 15th over at Emilio Wilson Park for the disabled, and it's called Family Fun Day. Ladies, welcome back. Before the break, we made mention of how excited you were, Stacey, on being able to carry such an event. And now I'd like to know, whenever an event is being held of this magnitude and invitations are being extended, do the public also take part and you get the full support from the public?
I must say no and yes. Why no? I think a lot of times persons are a bit skeptical or afraid of approaching persons that are differently abled. For whatever reason, most of the time when we have events, we realize that we have the same persons that are attending, and mostly those are parents from those that are already admitted at the White Yellow Cross at the Basilius Center. So those are the reoccurrent. However, I think we need to change that narrative. We need to, when we extend an invitation, we would like for the public, the general public, to come out and greet these persons, see what they are, what their capabilities are. Because, you know, sometimes God is such a magnificent being that sometimes when you fall short in one area, he bless you with a talent in another area. Mm-hmm. And we have clients that are very good in painting. He is not able to speak, he's not able to hear, but he paints very well. We also have those that make art design, earrings, different things that they are very gifted in doing. We have clients that does 1,000 pieces of puzzles. Now, I cannot sit and do that, but we do have clients that are able to do that without, and it doesn't even take them that long. So that is why these persons that are differently able, they are so gifted.
Yeah.
And for this Family Fun Day, I would like to change the narrative and just invite the public. What we are doing actually is giving information. I think information is vital because the more you know, the more you're more open-minded and want to be a part of that community. And as I said before, persons that are differently able, they're not going anywhere. They're here to stay in our community. Everywhere in the world that you go, you're going to find someone, your neighbor, if you do not have anyone in your family. And what is also important that I would like persons to know, we can be as normal as we consider ourselves to be normal. And just by going outside and you trip and you fall and you become disabled. Yeah. Persons have to be mindful of that because these persons did not create themselves. And I'm sure if it was the other way around, they would want to be normal. But this is what happened. This is God's way of doing it. Yeah. And we are extending an invitation for persons to listen. And if you do not take anything from any of our interviews, I would like people to know that we are not asking you to able persons that are specially gifted. We're asking for inclusion in the workplace, inclusion in the banking system, inclusion in every department that we have on St. Martin because it is needed. Do not feel as though they cannot work. Don't feel as if, don't pity them. There is so much that they have to give, and we want the community to be knowledgeable and to accept these persons.
Yeah. I was going to present that next question to you, the importance of inclusion, but you went ahead and you spoke on that in the community and the positive impact this has on disabled persons, right?
Yeah.
So it's very much important that society understands that they make up a part of our group here.
Definitely.
Good. Now, Chantal, what has government done so far for people with disabilities?
So what they have done, and like I had mentioned, we're busy. We're busy with the social care policy. We're busy with the social registry. These are all policies that we're busy drafting, under which the persons that are differently able falls, and they would be able to get some assistance. Busy having discussions, for example, on a social work placement. So as Stacey rightfully mentioned, including them in the labor market. So as much as we want to include them in the labor market, continue to include them in the labor market, outside of government, considering that government has employed and continues to employ persons that are differently able, we want to also educate the business partners, educate SHTA, have discussions with the union, to highlight that though someone may be disabled in one area, it doesn't take away the fact that they are functional. You may have someone that is wheelchair bounded, but a person can answer the phone. The person can write reports. So we need to continue having discussion, tripartite committee discussions. As government, we need to work together as all 7 ministries are on board, because it's important. Besides that, I could remember that there was a desk research and field research done some years ago when we were in the old government building. And one of the things that came out was the not having proper accessibility to the government building, much less to the offices. Now that we are in a new government building, the accessibility is there, to enter the government building, but then also the doorways to enter departments or offices are large enough and wheelchair accessible. So those are things that government has done. But what we need to do more is educate the people. Educate the business partners, because I may have a business and want to hire someone that is differently able, but I might not know how to deal with such a person. So education plays a major role. Then it also, I could also say that legislation, there is not sufficient legislation in place that would afford us as government to assist vulnerable groups under which persons that are differently able falls. So these are things that government definitely needs to do more, but it needs to really come from an integrated approach. All ministries on board. You have VROMI, that they are thinking to build social houses, take into account that there are persons that are differently able. So ensure that some homes on the ground floor, for example, are accessible, wheelchair accessible. That, for example, the sidewalks has a slope so that someone that is wheelchair bounded or, cannot walk or is mobile impaired, that they would be able to get on the sidewalk, finance, that they would provide the budget that is required for programs. You have the education department that they would start educating also in the schools, Then you have the justice ministry, protecting persons that are differently able. So there again, like I'm saying, integrated approach is required. Government continues to do, especially the Ministry of VSA, continues to do our utmost best to make provisions available for persons that are differently able. And we will continue doing that.
Good. And on your part, Stacey, what is being done in order to better educate the public, as Chantal mentioned, persons who probably may have a business and would like to hire someone who's differently able and they're not quite sure how they're going to go about that? What would you say?
What I would say is that, again, as we mentioned, education. And I think it's my duty to now since this is the area that I'm in, it's my duty to ensure that we give as much information. And if persons are interested, we are more than willing to come into your department and have a sit down with you, because not everybody has the vision and not everybody has the means of doing it. I do not have the means, but I do have the vision and I have the knowledge. So education is quite important for us, and we are more than willing to get this out as we are doing a radiothon, because July 14th is World Disability Awareness Day. And this is why this is so important, because it will come every year, it will come. And as we get more into it, we are growing, and more education is forthcoming every day. So education is the key, and we are more than willing to give this information to our business community and population.
Someone who may have a disabled person at home and probably feel a kind of not too comfortable coming out with them, especially on this day, the importance of them showing up and bringing that differently able person to the event on July 15th.
Persons with our interviews that we are doing, our radiothon that we are doing, and giving information. And I said, knowledge is important. It might not be you, it could be your neighbor. So if you might have someone that is not able to come to the event, and you have a neighbor and you said, listen, I am just going to come to the fun day to get the information. We do have information booth. If we do not have all the information, we are going to guide you into the right direction where you need to go. We also have persons that are not able to understand or speak the English language. We have Spanish-speaking people. We have Creole-speaking employees that is more than willing to give this information to persons. So we have tried to cover the groundwork of what persons with disability in our community, what we want to do for them, and how we want to move forward. So it is very important to invite the entire community on St. Martin to come out to our event to get information, and to don't keep the information for yourself, because you might not need it right now, but you might know someone that needs the information. So we do have that.
Right before we run out of time, what can we expect on the grounds of Emilio Wilson Park on July 15th for it's World Disability Day on the 14th. However, we're celebrating on the 15th.
Correct. We would have, everything is free of charge. So we are not charging anyone to enter. We are going to have the trampoline. We're going to have face painting. We have food and drinks that will be there. We have games that our activity coordinator is putting in. We have music. We have everything for the children.
And the information booths.
And the information booth.
Yes.
We need that information booth. So we have music, everything that is there to entertain and to give you that information for the 3 hours that we will be there.
And Charity, if I may, as Stacey rightfully mentioned, for persons from the Spanish-speaking and Creole-speaking community, this is an invitation extended to them. CDFAJ has a good relationship with this community, so that information would be definitely shared with them, and Spanish-speaking individuals would be there and Creole-speaking individuals would be there on the day of, in the event that someone that speaks Spanish or Creole attend, that they too can get the information required.
Just great. Will CDFHA also continue collaborating with White and Yellow Cross?
Definitely.
This sounds like a definite yes. Okay.
Definitely.
Once again, ladies, do share with the listening and viewing audience the telephone numbers, contact numbers for those persons who would like to assist in any way, form,
For myself, they can always reach me at 523-1797. I am more than willing to give the information and any other questions that you might have concerning persons with disability or whatever information you need pertaining to persons with disability.
Okay.
And for myself, my number is 5202041. Or persons can send an email, to cityfaj@stmartingov.org.
Ladies, thank you very much. And again, I believe the public will be present on July 15th over at Emilio Wilson Park for the Disability Family Fun Day.
Yes.
Right? And again, the time?
It's from 9 to 12.
Radio listeners and television viewers, this brings us to the end of the Inside Government interview with yours truly, Charity Dunker. My guests will both from the CDFHA department head, Ms. Chantal Groeneveld, and she was joined by Ms. Stacey Ann, violinist, who is the team leader of guided living over at Hope Estate, and also representative of White and Yellow Cross. Ladies, thank you very much. To our radio listeners and television viewers, we would like to thank you very much for being a part of this edition of Inside Government Interview. Be sure to tune in and join us again for a rebroadcast on St. Martin Gov Radio 107.9 FM or via the Facebook page, Government of St. Martin, and YouTube channel, Government of St. Martin, for video on demand. Be sure to listen and tune in. This brings us to the end of the broadcast. And again, on behalf of our team at the Department of Communication, I'm Charity Dunker. Thank you very much for tuning in.